Bulldogs pulled off the big homecoming win Friday night, defeating Royse City 35-21. I'm joined by a very happy Mike Fecci. And Coach, it was a great all-around win for your team. You really got going very early on with the quick start, and that's really what gave you guys a momentum to win this game.
It was. I thought our defense came out and played real well early. You know, intercepted their first play from scrimmage, took it back for a touchdown. Then went out and the very next play from scrimmage for them forced a fumble and gave us the ball again. So they had run 2 offensive plays and we had 2 turnovers. You can't ask for a better start from that, especially to get points off of it. So it was nice to see our defense come out and play back that early.
We'll start taking a look at those 2 turnovers on the highlights as we begin. Early on in the game, their first drive for Royse City, their quarterback's intercepted, and Mark Bresnahan is the one who picks it off.
Yeah, Mark takes this thing back, and it was nice. You know, anytime you can get an interception return for a touchdown to set the tempo for the game, it's nice. And, then we were able to force a turnover, and get the ball and go down and put our own touchdown in there offensively.
Ben Dutsey with the quarterback draw for the score, and that's going to be a familiar theme throughout this game. And he also passed the ball well.
He threw the ball well. Great throw to KJ Bulacek right here. Ben does a good job of reading this one here. Makes a real good move on that kid, and then is able to, Ben's a big kid, and puts second scoring right there. But like I say, I was proud of Ben. He had a good night. I was real proud of our defense, especially early. We really got a lot of people to the football and made a lot of big plays.
What was it about your defense that was able to really push Royse City back?
Well, I think getting penetration up front is critical. I mean, you can see on some of these highlights, we're getting people into the backfield, and when you get people into the backfield, and then guys doing what they're supposed to do, like Louis Orozco is supposed to take the quarterback there, and he does. When kids do what they're coached to do and do it at a high level, I mean, we can be pretty successful.
You had later, after you're up 14-0, a big 4th and 5 that you're just going to punt it away, and it was a little bit of bad snap, and your punter, Jacob McClay, he ends up taking, what could have been a bad play and turned into a 16-yard gain.
Sure, that was huge right there. Jacob did a great job, and as he does right here at defensive end, gets him a sack right there. Good job of taking the bad snap and making something good out of it and getting us a first down for us to extend the drive. Jacob blocks an extra point right here. Jacob really had a great night for us. He really did.
And at that point, you were up 21-0 after that Dutsey touchdown run. They end up getting 6 right before the end of the half. You're going to score again on a long touchdown drive.
Yeah, we played real well. Late in the first half, we kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown on a 4th down defensively, which gave them a second win, which allowed them to continue a drive and go put points on the board. But we were able to come back and answer that offensively. More importantly, they started the game, in the second half on offense. Great run here by Ronald Jones. They started the game on offense in the second half, and we were able to force a turnover and then go down and score offensively, which was big, which was critical for us. Put the game up, put us at 35 and allowed us to kind of feel good about where we were.
So you go into the locker room up 28-6. Things are going well, and just like the first quarter, you start off the third quarter, Royse City's first play from scrimmage. It's going to be a 27-yard run from the running back rushing, and then as he's getting the space on this run, he's going to cough it up because your guy's
good timing, right? Good. There you go. There's the forced fumble right there. But looks like by Triplett, John Ford picks it up, does his best running back impersonation, stiff arms and all, for a defensive tackle. That's pretty good to see. And great job to start the second half with that. And then here we get the ball, and Justin pops off a big run right here. Great job by Nathan Knipe and Trey Sanders and those guys out blocking on the edge. And then we're able to put this one in. And that's what you want. You want your defense to force turnovers, and you want your offense to come back. And just like that, 3 plays in, we're adding another 7 points. And that's what you want.
Great route from Constantine. Made it 35-6 at that time. And you mentioned Justin Jones, who's filling in for Trey Smith. And he really ran the ball effectively in this game, 128 yards on the ground.
Yeah, great night for him. He's a very, very hard worker. He's a good example of a kid. Here's a great job by Malik Golden, gets an interception, which gets called back because we lined up off sides defensively. But it's still a neat highlight, a 100-yard interception return. But back to Justin, he's a kid that got his chance, and he seized the moment, and that's what you want kids to do. When they get an opportunity, they seize the moment, they make the most of it, and he sure as heck did, and we're glad he's on our team.
Defensively, you force a couple of fumbles. You have 1 interception return for a touchdown, almost a second if that call wasn't onside, and then big stop on the goal line.
Great job by Malik Golden and Anthony Lozoya and company there chasing down that quarterback. And then real good job here getting the ball out of our own end by Ronald Jones. You know, they had us pinned back there, and again, great sack here by Don Parrish. You know, we just made plays when we had to in the second half. We didn't play at the same level the entire time, but when we had to, we made plays, and our offense really had a nice drive to close the ball game out.
And talk about, again, that goal line stand. You're up 35-12. If they score, they can make it as much as 35-20 if they go for two at that point. Really key to hold them right there because that prevents them from having any belief. Exactly.
You know, I mean, anytime you can get a goal line stand, because what that comes down to is who wants it more. And, you know, for us to be ahead in the ball game like we were, where, you know, that score is significant, no doubt, but at the same time, great run by Ronald Jones. It's significant, no doubt, but at the same time, it really doesn't change the outcome of things. For us to step up and do that, I think says a lot about our kids on defense. You know, and we're getting there. We're getting there. We're not there yet, so I told them Saturday, we're nowhere near yet where we think we can go get to, but we are getting there, and it's a process. And we took a big step Friday night, and we need to take another big step again this week.
And the final ends up being 35-21. Justin Jones and Ronald Jones really ran out the clock nicely for your team. Ben Ducey all night long really had great vision of not only throwing the ball downfield, but able to use that option read to where he's able to get some of those big runs.
Right, he did. You know, Ben did a good job of that, and you know, at times, and it was a learning process for him too, because it's a little bit different look than Ben's ever seen before. And at times he thought it was there and pulled it, and it really wasn't. We had to go back and explain, okay, this is when you see that, look for this as well. But he did. He had a great night for us. You know, Ben works his tail off during the week and really wants to be a good quarterback and wants to lead our football team in the right way, and I think he's doing a good job of that. You know, he's going to have a good one this week. We're going to have to call on him and Ronald and Justin and whoever else to go out there and give us a chance against Lovejoy.
And now you get your first win of the season. Now you can focus on the rest of district play and trying to get into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Do you like where you're at right now? You're in 4th place in the district with a 1-1 record.
Well, obviously you'd like to be 2-0, but at the same time, I told our kids if the playoffs started today, which they don't, but if they did, we'd be in because we would have the tiebreaker over Royse City. We'd be in the top 4. You got 3 teams at 2-0. You got 2 teams at 1-1. You got 3 teams at 0-2. And after this week, it'll be all jumbled up again. What you want to do is take it week by week, and you want to make sure that you win your game to keep yourself in the position that you're in. And we got a huge one with Lovejoy. You know, Lovejoy's 2-0. They've beaten they beat Wiley, and they beat Greenville. So they've beaten some people, and they're 5-0 on the season. We're playing them at their place. This will be an exciting atmosphere. A lot of our kids know their kids. Obviously, our coaches, and in particular one, really knows their kids, with Coach Thompson just coming from there. So at the same time, it's exciting, it's fun, but it is the next step in the process for us, and it's one that we got to go out and win.
Lovejoy is a team that just moved up from the 3A level to the 4A level, yet they're still undefeated on the season, both out of district and in district play. How are they able to extend that success to the 4A level?
Well, it's a big jump, don't get me wrong. I mean, but I firmly believe the jump from 3 to 4A is not nearly as significant as the jump from 4A to 5A. When you get into 5A, you're talking about the total overall number of kids that actually play football. You know, you can look at Lovejoy's enrollment. They're down there around 1,000, which is a very small 4A. Their enrollment in football, they have a bunch of kids that play football, though. Their numbers are great in their football program. Prosper is very similar. Smaller 4A, but numbers are great in their football program. So although it's important that you have a lot of kids out, to keep your numbers up, those guys they've had 4A numbers in their program, in their sports program, for a while now. Although their school may not be such, their program has been. And Lovejoy's been in the playoffs almost, I think, every year that they've been in existence. So obviously when you get in the playoffs, you play high-caliber opponents and high-quality people. And so they've done a great job. I mean, they really have. Coach Green stepped in, coming from Lake Travis, brought a real, sophisticated, fancy offensive system with him, and they do a good job with tempo. They're going to try to run you into the ground and basically just find your breaking point. Defensively, they're very sound. They're going to move a lot on defense, and they're going to play hard, and they're going to force turnovers. They're a big challenge for us, and what's one we're excited about because. It's one that means a lot to us because it's the next one on our schedule.
Defensively, your team did a great job against Royse City of getting pressure in the backfield, stopping their offense. How do you transition that to a team and carry it over to a team like Lovejoy that scores a lot of points?
Well, Lovejoy scores a lot of points because, number one, they execute extremely well, and number two, they're very up-tempo. You know, they're going to run anywhere between 80 to 90, somewhere between 80 and 90 snaps at you in a ball game. And they're going to snap it fast. They're going to call the play, they're going to snap it, and they're going to go. Usually they're snapping it anywhere between 22 and 24 seconds left on the play clock. And so what we have seen is first half, people play them pretty decent. In second half, they get worn down either through fatigue or through frustration or whatever. They stop making plays. It's understanding that going in. It's like a title bout that's going to be a long, rounded bout. And you got to stay in there and keep swinging and keep fighting and keep going after it. I think you also help with what you do offensively. You know, we've got to control the line of scrimmage on offense. We've got to eat clock, and we've got to get points on every drive. Points on every drive are critical for us offensively. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be something that, you know, we've scrimmaged them in the past 2 years, so our kids have at least seen these kids before. You know, and they always gave us a real good scrimmage. We know what they're about. They're going to play hard. They're going to execute well, and we got to answer the bell, and we got to come out and go at it. And I like where our kids are right now. And hopefully we can have a great week this week and come out and get us a win on Friday.
Well, Coach, I want to congratulate you on the win Friday against Royse City, getting the first win on the year. Now you're 1-1 in district play in McKinney North. If they can pull off that upset on the road against Lovejoy Friday night, they'd move to 2-1 in district play, certainly be one of the favorites to come out with one of the playoff spots in District 13 4A.